I thought she was my child's best friend until I saw this. I'm Mary, a 54-year-old mom from a quiet Ohio suburb, where life moves slow, like the breeze through our oak trees. My daughter Sarah, 24, was my light, always sketching wildflowers, or giggling over coffee with me in our cozy kitchen. Her best friend Emily seemed like family. She'd been around since high school, always at our barbecues, her laugh blending with Sarah's. My son Daniel, 28, teased them both, and my husband Tom treated Emily like a second daughter. We'd sit on the porch sharing lemonade, and I'd think, this is what family feels like. But last fall I noticed a change. Sarah grew quiet, her sketches darker, her smiles forced. I asked if she was okay, but she'd shrugged, saying, "Just tired, Mom." Emily was around more, always whispering with Sarah, their heads bent close. I thought it was just girl talk, but something felt off. A mother's instinct, sharp and nagging. I brushed it aside, telling myself I was paranoid. But then I saw something that turned my world upside down. It started with a letter. I was tidying Sarah's room, her art supplies were everywhere, and found an envelope tucked under her sketchbook. It wasn't her handwriting. Inside was a note: "Keep quiet, or they'll all know." My heart sank. Who was threatening my daughter? The note mentioned the plan and was signed E. Emily. I shook my head, refusing to believe it. She was Sarah's rock, the girl who'd stayed up with her after breakups, who'd helped us paint the house last summer. But doubt crept in. I started watching Emily closer, her two perfect smiles, the way she'd linger when Tom talked about his business. I checked Sarah's phone one night, feeling guilty but desperate. There were texts from Emily. "Don't tell your mom yet. Trust me." Trust her about what? My mind raced. Money, secrets, something worse. I didn't sleep. That night, the note's words, burning. They'll all know. What was Emily hiding, and why was my daughter caught in it? I couldn't confront Emily without talking to Sarah first. One evening, after Tom and Daniel went to watch a game, I sat her down in the living room. "Sarah, what's going on with you and Emily?" I asked, holding up the note. Her eyes widened, then filled with tears. "Mom, it's nothing, just personal stuff." Her voice shook, and she wouldn't meet my gaze. I pressed gently. "This note says, keep quiet. Is Emily making you do something?" Sarah stood, pacing, her hands twisting her sweater. "You don't get it, Mom. She's helping me." Helping? It didn't feel like help. I hugged her, but she pulled away, muttering, "I can handle it." That night I lay awake, Tom snoring beside me, and felt a crack in my heart. Sarah was hiding something, and Emily was at the center. I wasn't just a worried mom anymore. I was a woman who needed answers, no matter how much they'd hurt. Over the next few weeks, I became a shadow in my own home. I watched Emily every time she visited, her laughter now sounding hollow, her glances too sharp. She'd ask about Tom's construction business, casual but probing questions about his clients, his accounts. I started noticing things. Emily, borrowing Sarah's laptop, staying late after Sarah went to bed. One night, I overheard her on the phone in our backyard, whispering, "It's almost done. They don't suspect." My blood ran cold. Who was she talking to? I checked our family computer, finding a login from an unfamiliar email tied to Emily. There were files, bank statements, Tom's contracts, even Sarah's art portfolio. Why would she need those? I felt sick, piecing together a betrayal I couldn't yet name. Emily wasn't just Sarah's friend, she was playing a game, and my family was the board. I dug deeper, desperate for proof. I found an old USB drive in Sarah's desk, labeled E. It wasn't locked, and inside were screenshots between Emily and a man named Greg. "Get the account details," he wrote. "Sarah's mom trusts you." My hands shook. Emily was using Sarah to get to us. The messages mentioned the deal and a sum $50,000. Was she after our savings? Tom's business had done well, and we'd set aside money for Sarah's future. I cross-checked Greg's name online, finding he was a local realtor with a shady reputation. Rumors of fraud, nothing proven. My mind spun. Was Emily stealing from us? Manipulating Sarah to help? I wanted to scream, to confront them all, but I needed more. I copied the files, hid the USB, and vowed to keep watching. Emily thought she was clever, but she'd underestimated a mother's love. The more I learned, the more my family felt like strangers. Sarah grew distant, snapping when I asked about Emily. Daniel noticed, asking Mom, "What's up with you?" And Sarah, I couldn't tell him not yet. Tom was oblivious, working late, leaving me alone with my suspicions. I started tailing Emily, feeling like a spy in my own life. One night, I saw her meet Greg at a coffee shop, passing him a folder. I couldn't hear them, but their faces were tense, calculating. I took photos from my car, my heart pounding. Back home, I compared them to the screenshots. Same man, same smirk. I felt betrayed, not just by Emily, but by Sarah's silence. Why was she protecting her? I lay awake, staring at the oak tree's shadow on my ceiling, and realized I was losing my daughter to a lie, but I wasn't ready to give up. I'd find the truth, whatever it took. Doubt consumed me. Was I wrong about Emily? Maybe she was helping Sarah with something innocent. Surprise, a debt. But the note, the messages, the moneyette didn't add up. I started checking our bank accounts, noticing small withdrawals Tom hadn't mentioned. When I asked, he shrugged, saying business expenses. But I saw his unease, the way he avoided my eyes. I confronted Sarah again, softer this time. "Sweetie, if Emily's pushing you into something, you can tell me," she cried, saying, "Mom, you don't trust me." That hurt more than anything. I wanted to trust her, but the evidence was piling up. I found another note in Sarah's room. "Stick to the plan, or Greg gets mad." My anger flared. Whoever this Greg was, he and Emily were using my daughter, and I'd make them pay. I wasn't just a mom anymore, I was a protector, ready to fight for my family. One night I followed Emily. She told Sarah she was grabbing dinner, but I tailed her to a bar downtown. There she was with Greg, their heads bent over a laptop. I couldn't hear, but I saw her pass him an envelope. My heart raced. Was it money? Documents? I snapped photos, my hands shaking. Back home, I opened Sarah's laptop, finding a hidden folder with our bank details and Tom's client list. Emily had access. Sarah must have shared it. I felt sick, betrayed by the girl I'd welcomed into our home. I sat at the kitchen table, the house silent except for the fridge's hum, and made a vow. I'd uncover every piece of their scheme, no matter how deep it went. Emily thought she could outsmart me, but she didn't know a mother's strength. I wasn't just hurt, I was furious, and I'd make sure she regretted crossing my family. I couldn't look at Sarah without aching, but I couldn't stop now. Emily was using my daughter, and I needed proof to save her. I spent weeks gathering evidence, screenshots of Emily's messages with Greg, photos from the bar, copies of our bank records showing those strange withdrawals. I even found an email Emily sent Sarah, urging her to keep Mom out of it. My blood boiled. I contacted a friend, Lisa, who worked at the bank. She confirmed unauthorized transfers from our savings, small enough to go unnoticed, totaling $20,000. Emily had access through Sarah's login. I felt like a fool for trusting her. I started recording Emily's calls when she used our landline, catching snippets. "Greg, we're close. Just keep her quiet." I wasn't just collecting evidence, I was building a cage for Emily. But I needed to be careful. If Sarah found out too soon, she'd warn her friend. I had to protect my daughter, even from herself. I dug into Greg's past, finding news articles about his real estate scams, forged contracts, fake investments. Emily was his accomplice, using Sarah to get to our money. They'd targeted Tom's business, planning to siphon funds by posing as a client. Sarah, naive and loyal, must have thought she was helping Emily with a project. I found a contract on Sarah's laptop, signed by Tom, but altered to redirect payments to Greg's account. My heart sank. Tom didn't know. I confronted him one night, showing him the contract. His face went pale. "Mary, I thought it was legit." Emily said Sarah vouched for it. Sarah, my daughter, was in deeper than I'd feared. I didn't blame her, she was manipulated. But I blamed Emily. She'd preyed on Sarah's trust, on our family's openness. I wasn't just angry, I was livid. Emily had played us all, and I'd make sure she paid for it. I needed to know how deep Sarah was. In one evening I sat her down, my voice soft. "Sarah, is Emily asking you to do anything strange, like sharing bank details?" Her eyes darted away, her fingers twisting her necklace. "No, Mom, she's just helping me with a surprise for you and Dad." A surprise. It was a lie, and it broke my heart. I showed her the altered contract, watching her face crumble. "Didn't know, Mom," she whispered, tears falling. "Emily said it was for a good cause." I hugged her, but my mind was racing. Sarah was a victim, not a villain, but she'd been complicit. I told her to act normal, not to tip Emily off. She nodded, scared, but trusting me. For the first time, I saw my daughter's strength. She wanted to fix this, but I knew the real fight was mine. Emily had crossed a line, and I was ready to push back. I planned a family dinner, inviting Emily and Greg, telling everyone it was to celebrate Tom's new contract. They thought I was clueless, but I was setting a stage. I spent days preparing, copying every piece of evidence, emailing Lisa for bank records, even contacting a lawyer friend, Mark, to ensure legal consequences. I rehearsed my speech, imagining Emily's smug smile fading. I told Sarah just enough. "This dinner will fix things, sweetie." She nodded, her eyes nervous but determined. I bought a small recorder, hiding it in the dining room to catch every word. My anger was a quiet fire, burning steady. Emily thought she'd outsmarted us, but she didn't know a mother's resolve. I wasn't just planning a dinner, I was planning a reckoning. And I'd make sure every lie she told came crashing down around her. The dining room glowed with candlelight, the table set with roast chicken and wine. Emily sat across from me, laughing too loudly. Greg was there, charming as ever, shaking Tom's hand. Sarah was quiet, her eyes on me. Daniel, oblivious, cracked jokes. Tom squeezed my hand, thinking it was just a celebration. Then I stood, my voice calm. I know what you've been doing, Emily? The room went silent. I played the recorded call, showed the screenshots on my phone, and held up the altered contract. You used my daughter to steal from us. Emily's smile vanished. Greg stood sputtering. This is a misunderstanding, but I wasn't done. I listed every withdrawal, every lie, my voice shaking with rage. Sarah gasped, tears streaming. Daniel stared, shocked. Tom's face hardened. He hadn't known the full scope. Emily tried to laugh it off, saying, "Mary, you're paranoid." But I saw fear in her eyes. I'd caught her. Emily stood, grabbing her bag, but I blocked the door. "You're not leaving until you explain." Greg tried to interrupt, but Tom shut him down, his voice low and furious. Sarah sobbed, "Why, Emily? I trusted you." Emily's facade cracked. "You don't understand," she stammered. "It was just business. Business. Stealing our savings, manipulating my daughter." I played another recording, her telling Greg to hurry, before Mary figures it out. The room felt like it was collapsing. Daniel grabbed Emily's arm, demanding answers. She yanked free, shouting, "You'll regret this," but I already had. I'd sent the evidence to Mark, who'd forwarded it to the police. As Emily and Greg stormed out, I knew they'd face charges: fraud, theft, maybe more. But the damage was done. My family was shaken, our trust fractured. Sarah clung to me, whispering, "I'm sorry, Mom." I held her, but my heart was heavy. The weeks after were quiet. Sarah moved back home, guilt weighing her down. She started therapy, and we really talked for the first time in months. Tom apologized for missing the signs, promising to double-check his business. Daniel became protective, angry at Emily for hurting Sarah. I felt proud but hollow. I'd exposed Emily, ruined her plans, but at what cost? Our savings were frozen, pending investigation, and our family dinners felt empty without Emily's laughter, even if it was fake. I looked at our oak tree, its branches sagging, and wondered if we'd ever be whole again, but I didn't regret it. Emily thought she could use my daughter and walk away. She was wrong. I'd fought for my family, and I'd do it again. Justice wasn't just about money, it was about truth, about protecting the ones I love, no matter how much it hurt. I'm Mary, and this is my story. I thought Emily was family, but she was a thief, preying on my daughter's trust. I exposed her, and it cost me my savings, my peace, my family's innocence, but I'd do it again. A mother doesn't just love, she fights. If you've ever been betrayed, you know that fire, the one that burns when someone hurts your child. What would you do if your family's trust was broken? Would you fight like I did? Leave a heart if you would. Subscribe for more stories, because I'm not done. There's strength in every mother, waiting to be unleashed. Emily learned that the hard way, and so will anyone who crosses my family again.